So there's really a magnitude of education that's still going on with fascia. But
Yeah.
now we are not ignoring it, right? And now we are really understanding it can have such a great impact on our well-being. When we first came out, it was an aha moment for cellulite.
Mhm.
It's
Right.
awful fun because women thought they had to live with that. And the thing is about us women, we love beauty. We love feeling beautiful. That's one of the greatest things that's really important to us. And I'm not saying in a fake way, I'm saying delicious and juicy. If we are feeling more comfortable in our own skin, our beauty and hearts and radiance and graciousness get to be exuded on a magnified level, right?
Hello, guys. This is a big day because this is the first episode that I'm recording of the new season of the Dr. Lowe Show. And this is a whole new thing because I haven't done video up until now. It's all been audio. So I think, let's see, I started the podcast in 2011. So 13 years of audio. And now it's time to show our faces. And I really hope that this adds to it. And, you guys kind of get more of a personal feel for us. So welcome back, guys. I'm excited. I've needed this. I've needed this in my soul. I'll do a separate episode of just kind of an update with me and things that I'm, kind of dealing with now. As a lot of you guys know, I had a big life change last year. My husband at the time passed, and it's just been, a lot of soul searching, a lot of healing, and just kind of getting clear on what I'm doing moving forward. So I love my guest, Tamara. Do you go by Tamara Renee or is it Tamara Trujillo? What are you going by now?
I go by Tamara Renee.
Tamara Renee. So we actually had Tamara on the show a few years ago. Like, I think it was like 2012 or something.
Yes.
A long time ago. So I had the opportunity to get to know Tamara when I was on staff at a clinic. It was my first, big doctor job, and I was doing IVs on her. Hopefully you're okay with me sharing that.
Yes, of course.
But, I just really connected with you, and I felt like we saw life very similarly. And every time you came in, I left feeling like elevated and inspired, and you just have this amazing ability to do that. It's just amazing. So I wanted to bring you back on and talk about something totally different. So you've been working with fascia for years. And yesterday I was trying to explain fascia to a couple people and I kind of fumbled through it. So I'm glad I have you on to explain what it is, and just how important it is and just all about it. It's something that most people don't even know about. They, I feel like even certain health practitioners, they're just kind of like, they don't understand the importance of it. So it's not even just for the average person. And it's something that is a newer focus in health, right? So let's dive into it. At
Yeah.
first, just give us a brief little, like, who are you, a little bit about you, and then we'll dive into the topic.
Well, I am just a simple girl that is committed and knows her purpose about contributing to women. That is my sole purpose on this planet. I got gifted to know that as a younger girl when I was transforming my life and my body from being obese, dropping 80 pounds, changing my lifestyle, learning how to cook, understanding all the components that really help health and what destroy health, right? So I was living it. Once I got to the other side where I had vibrance and my natural genetic energy, I was floored. Oh gosh, Dr. Lowe, I was so floored that my energy was as outstanding. I had no idea that I was suffering so much. I thought everyone suffered like that. That's not true.
Right. Mhm.
And so I wanted to gift that to every woman because I do believe that we're kind of the goo. We have more ability to be flexible, malleable. We're more empathetic. We're more um, willing to change, adapt, and help, right? And so if our bodies are not healthy, our minds are not healthy, then we don't have the ability to adapt because we're in kind of fight or flight life. And we don't have the confidence and the calmness within to think rationally, patiently, and lovingly. And so I got that finally. And I want every woman to have that because we are supposed to be the people that are carrying the children, birthing the children, caring for them mostly, right? In the more nurturing way. But if we can't be present in our own bodies and our own minds, how can we be, right? So
Yeah.
I knew right on, I wanted every woman on the planet to have what I was experiencing. I never got the gift of being a mother. So now I mother up on all my women. Okay.
Mhm.
So the
Mhm.
fascia system, I got when I finally got all my weight off and I was living my healthy life, I was still having some problems with circulation, which I then, through discovery, I learned that it was the lymphatic system. So then I started doing lymphatic work about 19 years ago. And I started incorporating my DNA nutrition with the lymphatic work, pre and post surgery care, removing all the toxins, getting their bodies healthier and vibrant pre and post surgery. And then fascia came out. I had plantar fasciitis issues for 2 years. I was
Mhm.
remaking all my shoes. The guy at the shoe store was like, no more. Tamara, you've got to fix the problem.
Mhm.
So I found fascia. And then I was starting to use that on my own body as I was researching more and more and realized, okay, hold it, it helps with cellulite. What? I'm looking for pain in my feet and my Achilles, but it's going to help my cellulite also. And so I started applying it for my whole body and really was able to change a body that looked pretty enclosed, but I was still having a lot of cellulite issues, a lot of loose skin issues, and a lot of blockiness where I had my thighs the same size as my ankles. So I
Wow.
then turned around my whole circulatory lymphatic health, got my skin to spring back, got my cellulite to smooth, and carved out a really pretty leg shape. And I thought, okay, there's more to this than meets the eye, right? That
Mhm.
was 2006 when it was first registered in the medical journal. So you're going, not too many medical people know about this. Well, of course not. It was only logged, and we've been slicing through this internal web called fascia for years and years and years, but never having words to it or a definition to it till 2006. So I like to think of it as the skin on the inside. So we've got this skin that's a continuous thing through our whole outer shell. Well, the fascia web system is the skin underneath. It weaves around every single muscle fiber, around every single tendon, ligament, in and out of every organ without a beginning or an end. So
Wow.
if you think about it, you have your hair strand. If it went down to the end, curled back up and in, went down to the end, curled back up and in, and you had a knot over here. Isn't that not going to be affecting this over here?
Mhm.
So if this is supposed to move internally to stabilize and suspend things from things so they glide and slide, but you've got a knot that's pulling on the whole system, you're going to have poor circulation, poor mobility, poor
Mhm.
lymphatic care. And then we've got things that actually put adhesions in it, like um, tummy tucks,
Right.
C-sections. So
Right.
alternative choices,
What about liposuction? That
yeah,
essentially, yeah.
liposuction, but
Mhm.
also the things that we need to do, like jaw surgery or C-sections, right? Things that we actually need to do, surgeries on for knee replacements. Those we need those surgeries. But then we've got the adhesions that happen inside from alternative choices that we make, like plastic surgery. But
Mhm.
we also have the traumas, emotional and physical trauma, because it houses our nerves. So that
Mhm.
gets stuck in our body and
Wow.
that gets clumped together and it gets dried and calcified. So we've got like a thick adhesion in there as opposed to like a line. Then we've got these emotional scars, right? That we haven't been able to process out traumas that hit us emotionally and not even thinking about the little trauma like falling off your bike, trauma coming through the vaginal canal for birth, trauma from tripping in your high heels, right? Trauma
Right.
from being scared that you're not going to be the best mom on the planet. All of that stuff gets stuck inside. Then
Mhm.
we have our daily use and overuse. So if I'm slouched over like this every day, isn't that going to be affecting my internal web that is a continuous system, right? So
Mhm.
when we move, when we reach, when we do any kind of movement, when we pull in our stomach, everything in our internal system is supposed to have this movement, right? But when we're dehydrated or have scars from emotional, physical, or surgery, or misuse or overuse, we can't have that movement. And then if we think about it in an aesthetic realm, we're kind of looking at our body going, why is my arm building thick? Why am I getting saddlebags? Why am I getting cankles? Why am I having accelerated aging skin on my neck? Things like that. Normally, we can look at the fascia system and see where is it needing to be restored to help us both physically and our physical and emotional wellness and our aesthetics.
Mhm.
Right? So I'm thinking, okay, I've got the fuel down, specialized in DNA nutrition for people. So we're taking away that guesswork. One size does not fit all. And then I've got the fascia component. I think these two have so much more magnitude of destroying our health or improving our health. So that's
Mhm.
why I like to specialize in those two areas. And then
Mhm.
I've got fusion programs that I do that I integrate them all together, right? To help people that want total transformation. But
Mhm.
it is such a profound interest, compounding interest that we can get if we work because our fascia system is continuous. If we've got a dowager's hump and I work that, that can actually help me with my feet health because the web is continuous.
Mhm. That's fascinating. Oh my gosh, I wrote so many things down that I could go off on rabbit trails. Um, so just going back to when you said you lost all that weight and you realized you had problems with circulation, what specifically were you feeling? Was it cold hands and feet? Was it the like noticing like swollen ankles? What kind
It
of
was all of it.
because I wanted to be practical for people to be like, oh, I deal with this symptom,
Oh,
you know?
got you. Okay, yes, cold extremities for sure. But that also can be confused, as you know, thyroid, right? And so the older we get, we have to look at different components. So another thing to consider is lower leg, primarily edema and swelling.
Mm-hmm.
So every day I would have lower leg swelling. And so I
Mm-hmm.
could only wear shorts, dresses, skirts, all of that stuff in the first part of the day and never in the evening.
Wow. Wow. Interesting.
Also, a discoloration to the skin where it didn't have like the golden, the
Right.
hydrated look. It looked a
Right.
little more grayish, ashier. And then by the end of the day, with having the inflammation and the pressure on it from the edema, I would
Mm-hmm.
get like a little reddish, purplish.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. I'm sure people can, connect with some of those symptoms and check for themselves. I love teaching patients to do their own personal, like physical exam. So those are things you can look for. Um,
Get me
uh,
also say more about that.
one of the things we talked about a lot, because I had the opportunity to come and see you in person, I had to see what the heck you do. And I really wanted to do it before this episode. So I'm glad we got to get it in. It was the day before Thanksgiving, but we're like, we're doing it.
Yes.
So, but one of the things that you did when I first got there was assess my posture. And it was kind of like all over the place, my posture. I do have scoliosis, so that can affect things, but just the way that I choose to stand, you can choose to stand in a particular way. It's not like you're just stuck, right? And with one particular kind of posture. So that was really helpful. And, I think over time, just because I kind of forgot about it again until today. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to start doing the posture work. But I think that is like all of this makes so much sense. The nutrition piece, the fascia stuff. So let's talk about for people who can't come and see you, what are some things like maybe they're out of state or out of the country or something. So if they want to start to take care of this for themselves, what would be maybe some habits that they can incorporate?
Okay. Can I stay where we were and then
Yeah,
kind of okay, great.
absolutely. But we'll come back to it. Remind me because I'll forget.
Okay, so I'll put a tool out here in front of me, which will be my reminder. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, so I want people to really understand like what you said there, like to be our own advocates of health. And whenever something's going on with our body, it's trying to communicate to us. Like I was saying, accelerated skin somewhere, blockier building, cellulite, looser skin. Also, a lack of prettiness to the skin, or pockets and pooling of fluids, or poor digestion and elimination. It just goes on and on and on. Our lymphatic system is directly connected to our fascia system. And
Mm-hmm.
the lymphatic system is our debris cleaning system. I want you guys to get this. It takes away our toxins. And
Mm-hmm.
then the fascia system is made up of all collagen and water. And so if we've got distortions or tissue that is thick and dry and adhered, no blood supply can get through, no blood supply can get to the surface of our skin to
Mm-hmm.
create beautiful collagen, elastin, and bouncy held to your body's skin,
Mm-hmm.
and nor can it get the debris and pull it away. Our fascia, superficial fascia, and our lymphatic system all ride in the same area. So if your lymph fluid, what's supposed to be liquidy, is thick and gelatinous because it's toxic, because it can't get cleaned,
Right.
it pushing down on your fascia system. And say that your lymphatic system is nice and healthy and fluid, but you've got adhesions in your superficial fascia, it's also pushing down on the lymph. They work together. Whenever I'm working on fascia, I am also working the lymph system. I've got endermology, a vacuum machine. I've
Oh my
got,
gosh, I'm obsessed. It feels
I
so
know,
good. I
I've
want to
got,
come back just to have you vacuum me.
I know, lymphatic wands. I have got what I would say to the people at home to use skin brushing. It seems so elementary and simple, but it is so helpful. I have got some of my clients that don't have the ability to get here
Uh-huh.
often. So they're coming every 4 to 6 weeks, right? But I have got them doing simple things at home, like skin brushing, because they're overwhelmed between trying to work but go to law school,
Mm-hmm.
and their body has changed. They came in here and they were in the color gray from head to toe with dark circles under their eyes. Their eyes all sunk in. Now, beautiful, vibrant, healthy. It's beautiful just from skin brushing and being
Wow.
at my table 4 times now, anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks apart. That's
Mm-hmm.
nothing. So
Wow.
I have been lucky that the one thing that I benefited from COVID got me to get out of my box of being only treating people here in my practice. And
Mm-hmm.
I learned how to do virtual training for fashion work, for beauty and restoration on the face,
Mm-hmm.
for people that have had palate change, jaw surgeries, people that have got migraines, hair growth issues. And then what I do is I teach them how to use simple tools. I teach them how to do buccal work, how to restore these areas and do the treatments in the privacy of their home. And
Mm-hmm.
I Zoom record it so
That's
that
cool.
they get to go back and refer to that over and over and over and over again. Now, if they want to do more and more training with me, then I personalize it and I do gua sha training for them. I do hit and face exercise training for them in a 3-pack for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then for the body, I'm training them how to use fascia tools that look similar to these. I have them buy whatever ones I suggest are simple for them to use. And I really take into account things like, what is their mobility? How is their endurance? Can they, do they need to do this in the shower because they've got kids and the only private time that they've got shower? What's easy to do in the shower, right?
Right.
Do they have saunas? Are they going to heat? Are they going to do it in the gym, in the steams or the sauna? I have to ask and decide all of these things to make it as simple and repeatable as
Mm-hmm.
possible. And so then I'm teaching them going, okay, you see how your skin is not moving very fluid in this area, I see your goal is to move the cellulite out of the front and back of your thighs. But then I got to teach them because fascia is a stability and a suspension system. Its first priority thing is to always trying to save us our joints. So if
Hmm.
we're trying to work the belly of our muscle, we really should work the joints in the area because it's trying to stabilize those areas. And that's why maybe the belly of the muscle doesn't look as pretty. So if
Hmm.
we've got cellulite in our front of our thighs or the back of our thighs, it's probably trying to stabilize things in our hips and our knees because we're not standing or walking correctly.
Hmm.
So when we're looking at that posture component, many times people go, oh, well, I no, this is how my mom stands. Well, how did we learn how to stand? Who were
Yeah.
we watching to mimic?
Hmm.
One of our parentals, right?
Yeah.
And so we absorb that without comprehending it.
Hmm.
And so now we're mimicking either a mother or father or someone in our immediate environment when we were trying to learn to walk. And now we're standing and walking like them. And so you get a lot of problems like feet out,
Right.
collapsed arches.
Which is
Hy-
what I had. You had to kind of like straighten it and move my toes in a little bit.
yes, hyperextending your knees,
Hmm. Yeah.
slouching and sitting in, leaning over. A dowager's hump doesn't just happen. It is protecting your neck because your neck is so far forward. And if you
Interesting.
look to see if people have a lot of that dowager's hump, it's the skin getting thicker and thicker and thicker in that area, trying to save the neck because the neck doesn't have the strength to go forward. Now, if you see people with starting with that, you'll also see a thickening all in this area. And they're like,
Right.
oh, they don't like how this looks. I'm like, oh, well, this is thickening because this is already thickened and now this is trying to save you, but it's all forward and trying to hold your neck forward. You don't like the looks. And finally, because people can see this so much, they're willing to get the work, right? But I'm like, you should have done it when it was back here, right?
Right.
And then
Yeah.
restore it all. But it's good because I can and I can
Hmm.
teach them how to do it. And when I'm working on their bodies, I'm like, okay, see how your skin's working, not moving, looking. And then we get to put them through the posture assessment. So I got to go, okay, in the shower, this is what you need to do every day to help your body unwind what you've done. Now, if you're willing to do an hour treatment or 20 minutes, one other time or two other times a week, this is what I would suggest based on how your body is building and your goals. And then I
Hmm.
get to teach them first priority, second priority, third priority. They can take the guesswork out and they can accelerate their results. Now, a lot of people come to me for body sculpting, and a
Hmm.
big part of my clientele because I am in Southern California, coastal, and I
Yeah.
have been in this community for 20, almost 30 years now doing health, natural health and beauty. And so that's my database. And then I get
Hmm.
people also fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, neuropathy, um, migraines. But what's nice, Doc, I get to give them both. I get to give them health and beauty every single time they're on my table or every single time I'm with Zoom.
Hmm.
I'm not compromising one to get the other. They do
Yeah.
both. And
Yeah.
it's so fun and so rewarding.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really cool that what you do with this fascia work, it makes you healthier and it makes you look better. Because a lot of times, when women go and get procedures, makes them look better, but then they have to deal with, different problems after that. One of the things I wanted to ask you was the connection with hormones. For me personally, I never had any cellulite until I had my son. And then after that point, it seemed like, things kind of went in that direction. So let's talk about that.
Okay, well, you think about this. Lack of hormones gives us lack of estrogen and collagen and elastin to our skin. So
Hmm.
our skin does what? Gets droopier, right?
Yeah.
Starts dropping. So you might have had the cellulite and the adhesions already underneath there, but now
Yeah.
you get the lax skin that is
Mhm.
showing pronounced
Yeah.
against the adhesion.
Yep. That's probably possible.
So, right, right. So that could be it, but also a hormonal flux can be traumatic to the internal system. So remember when I was talking about it houses trauma, both emotional and physical? So your body might not have been able to flush a lot of toxins, and so it gets stored into the fattier cells, which make the fattier cells more plumped.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to push against the connective tissue more.
Mm-hmm.
So there's different reasons. Now, why, fascia, because of the continuous system and housing the nerve. So it's first logged as in the medical journals as the suspension and stability system. And then
Mm.
got logged as the communication system because of housing the nerves. Then it got
Wow.
logged as the trauma system. And
Wow.
so when we look at all this, if we are trying to get medication or vitamins or communication to different parts in our body, but we've got stagnation, scar tissue, it can't all move there. So say we're trying to give our ladies alternative hormone replacement. We might not get all of the hormones to the sites in need. All
Right. Makes sense.
vitamins, right?
Mhm.
Anything that you're taking in might not be able to get to the site in need. But
Right.
now they're thinking about how can I train the fascia in a healthy way for athletes to get more spring to it,
Mm-hmm.
or us to treat cancer cells, for it to train it so it can encapsulate it, so we can go in and just treat it in a localized area. How can we train it in a healthy way to get to all sites and needs? So there's really a magnitude of education that's still going on with fascia.
Yeah.
But now we are not ignoring it, right? And now we are really understanding that it can have such a great impact on our well-being. And at first, when we first came out, it was an aha moment for cellulite. And
Mm-hmm.
it was
Right.
also fun because women thought they had to live with that. And the thing is about us women, we love beauty. We love feeling beautiful. And that's one of the greatest things that's really important to us. And I'm not saying in a fake way, I'm saying delicious and juicy. And that if we are feeling more comfortable in our own skin, our beauty and hearts and radiance and graciousness get to be exuded on a magnified level, right? Because our inner beauty is just being able to radiate out because we're confident and we're present. Um, and then it was like, okay, hold it. We are up to a lot more. Oh,
And Mike, okay, making sure
hello.
everyone's alert.
We are up to a whole different level of health now with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I have always been a little bit ahead of the curve, and I love it. So I was doing juice bars when people still didn't know what wheatgrass or even tofu was. And that
Right.
was in during those days, right? And so then I had juice bars way before that. Then I did organic meal deliveries before anyone knew what that was. And
Mm-hmm.
then I started into lymphatic work, which people still don't even know what it is. Now I'm doing DNA for nutrition, and people are like, what? You can do DNA, your body can tell you what kind of exercise and diet to eat. Hello. How do we suppress our bad genes and how do we express our good ones? Right? I love that stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
then, and now I'm in fascia, right? I have got a certification that only about 400 people in the whole world have, right? That is outstanding. And now I'm fusing it all. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not ignoring one element of our health that actually can help also with our aesthetics. And I
Mm-hmm.
get to tell a lot of women, like, I want to look beautiful. I'm playing the catch-up game because I'm learning and applying. But a lot of my friends and all of my team, I'm like helping them stay up versus catch up. I'm
Mm-hmm.
willing to do the catch up and try to learn the hard way through a trial and error so I can help all my fellow sisters stay up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then we have to go through so many changes. We have to go through our getting our hormones started anywhere from 11 to what, 14 now, 13.
Hmm.
And then we've got to go through changes of getting pregnant. And then the changes our body goes through after that. And
Yeah.
then also the postpartum regulation period, which I'm creating a 6-week program for postpartum. It'll be a whole online series. I
Sweet.
I launched that in 2 weeks for the pre-sale.
Right
And
on.
and then we got to think about we've got to go through the perimenopause and then the menopause. We go through a lot of changes that affect our hormones, that affect our bodies, that affect our well-being and our emotional state. And
Hmm.
so if I get to help all of us through all of those different changes, how lucky am I, right?
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very rewarding. I'm curious, do you have, a lot of people don't know how to do skin brushing. Do you have any resources, any videos, anything you can
Oh,
show us
yes.
how to do?
On my YouTube channel, I show
Okay.
people how to, because honestly, if you look at a lot of people, how they do it, it's
Yeah.
not the best way to do it.
Right. I know there's right and wrong ways to do it. So we'll put a
Yes.
link for your YouTube channel in the show
Okay.
notes.
Yeah, and if I could just kind of talk about, hitting the 6 lymph ducts
Mhm.
always to start is
Mhm.
important. And a lot of people that when they're thinking, what do you mean a wrong way? If we've got our lymph duct right here and we're starting down here in our hand and we're bringing all of the toxins all the way up, our lymph duct might not be able to clear the toxins so well. So I
Right.
like to stay right around the lymph duct and work farther away and bring it to it. And I do
Ah.
that with all the main lymph ducts, and that's what I show in my video. And
Hmm.
so I just want to explain that difference to people. And so also with the fascia system, there is different depth of tools because we have to work like an onion, superficial layers to deeper layers.
Hmm.
And so that's also, there's specific way, but my YouTube and my Instagram, I've got loads and loads and loads of videos and samples.
Okay. So you have videos on how to use the fascia tools too, right?
Fascial, skin brushing, stretching, hitting the lymph ducts, working the face from our paws, from gouaches, from tools, everything. Because I don't want people to get stopped. I don't want people to go, oh, I have to have this tool to bring more health and vibrance to me. No, this is maybe going to help it a little faster, a little easier. But no, if you've got your paws, fellow sisters, we can do a lot with these paws.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yes, don't
So, couple
stop.
things. You talked about what people can do at home in terms of skin brushing and using these tools. So those I think are really, really helpful takeaways. If there's anything else people can do at home, let me know. And then other than that, I want to go into some success stories.
Well, think about what can really help our bodies the most, not just in one simple way. It's like if we eat broccoli, it helps our body in so many different ways
Mhm.
because of the nutrient density to it. So if you think about things that you could do quickly and have it help you multiple times, like making a blended drink in the morning, taking a cucumber with a grapefruit and some fresh mint. So you can drink that drink 3 days in a row. You can make a big batch. Now, is it better for you to make that every day so the enzymes are so, nutrients are so alive? Yes, but who's got that time? Is
No.
it still going to be good for you to do it in a batch and drink it? Yes. Or blending up a little bit of like lemon and fresh cilantro, or doing a dip of like broccoli with raw sunflower seeds and some olive oil and making that like a dip that you're eating throughout the week. Things like that are quick to do with magnitude. Bone broth meals where
Mhm.
you've got a boatload of vegetables in there and bone broth and then some maybe collagen powder. So you're getting all that tissue repair, all that gut lining repair, all that nutrients in one meal, right? Or I like my postpartum. I'm coming up with recipes that thinking one-handed recipes, right? You've got the baby on one arm, one hip, and you're making it with this, and it's going to cross over to many meals like crustless quiches. So all of that nice high protein meal for
Mhm.
all the tissue repair, but you can eat it over and over and over, and you can boatload it up with a bunch of vegetables so that you're getting all those nutrients in too. So I always like to think of that, just like it's like the work when whatever you're doing to counterbalance what you do with frequency. So, for an example, for me, I'm over a treatment table most of the day. So, I'm leaning forward. So, my job at the end of the day is do wall stretches.
Mhm.
And then, first thing in the morning, to do stretches to all of my neck in all different directions to counterbalance of what I've done all day, to roll out my back when I get done with my day of work, right? So to think about what do you do every day that you
Mhm.
need to counterbalance that. And that's what I love to do. A personalization is my name of the game, right?
Yeah.
And so I've learned how to do that in groups. I've learned how to do, if I can shed light on black and white by showing like a Noel black, a Tamara white, right? And then a dark gray and a dove gray, the four distinctions all by each other, it gives us a more understanding versus
Mhm.
just trying to describe color black. And
Mhm.
so that's why I love groups too, because I think we go, oh, I think my son is more of a dove gray, similar to a white, but not really white yet, you know?
Mhm.
And then we can see the little distinctions because I try to teach people one small variation. If you bring in too much good quality fat in a day, for an example, too many good olives, too
Mhm.
many avocados, too many sunflower seeds, right? Too much salmon. You
Uh-huh.
can put your body in a whole nother metabolism type, and you could
Right.
be overworking all your organs
Right.
digesting them. And you
Mhm.
think, oh gosh, I'm eating all this good food, but why do I have poor, sluggish digestion? Why do I have brain fog, right? Why
Right.
are my poos not nice and floaty and nice color brown, right?
Mhm.
So it's so nice to be able to think about what are they doing and how can I help them on a personal level. But
Mhm.
we don't always have that. And so if you go to my Instagram page, I do a ton, I've done just this month, 30-day tips of what people can do in the privacy of their own home that's going to take them anything from 3 seconds to a minute 30 seconds
Mhm.
that they can do every single day. And so 30 tips for the month of November. Okay, so
That's
they can go
cool.
back there and see all of those tips. My Instagram handle is Fit Fine Fascia.
Love it. And we'll put that in the show notes too. So for
Thank
people who want to, follow you, they should follow you on Instagram and YouTube. And if they want to reach out to you, what's the best
on
way?
my website.
Okay.
It's under Tamara, Tamara, Renee, Renee.com.
Okay. Awesome.
I've got a fabulous opt-in option for if you want to opt in for my newsletter. I am a believer of overgiving.
Uh-huh. You really do.
Well, I think it's important too when people don't know what I do. People don't understand fascia. They don't even understand DNA. So I think like if I over offer, if I over give to them, then maybe they'll see the light like I see. Maybe they'll be able to see the opportunities for them.
Mhm.
But because I'm always a little bit ahead of the curve in things, it's my job to try to dangle the carrot so it's irresistible for them, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 We are a beautiful creation from God. And I think what I hear from you is delighting in your unique being. And and I love the term self-care and self-love, but not from a place of I'm so great, but more of just giving credit to what God created. And just personalizing that. Everything you talk about are things that are in the earth, things that he created. And it's just I think that's so beautiful. We have all these tools to use that are natural, and as you are on this journey, and like you said, okay, I sit all day long. So for anyone listening, do you have any certain repetitive movements you do? then you can work to balance that out. As you think that way and personalize what it is that you need, you start to really understand your body more. You start like for me, for breakfast, I had eggs, steak, and some sweet potatoes. And I knew that I didn't need to eat all the sweet potatoes because my body said you're done now, but that's because I over time have learned what kind of like ratio of things work for me. But for someone else, that might be exactly what they need. So, I just encourage anyone listening to just have fun with this and just get to know yourself better through this process. Other than that, I would love to talk about any success stories you want to share.
Oh gosh. Where do I begin? I mean, I have had people like with neuropathy, their toes all curled up, right? And then being able to work that out with teaching them about proper cellular hydration, doing the fascia work, and with continuous work at massaging and self-care.
Mhm.
Because when you've got something like this, you need that continuous work, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Now I've got them hiking, just doing hikes over in Catalina, right? Doing hikes with all of their girlfriends and their son, right? So that's really rewarding. Taking people that were so stressed out with traveling for their work, so
Mhm.
polluted with inflammation, so strung out with fight or flight hormones, and
Yeah.
actually teaching them how to eat so that even when they're on the road, they can make healthier, better choices for themselves. Taking
Mhm.
to their body that was so inflamed that they were like a brick house, almost as wide as they are tall, and then taking them to nice feminine shakes where their skin and their body is uninflamed and soft and malleable and beautiful, and
Mhm.
they're restored with their skin like having a natural glow, right? People that have had palate changes and chronic headaches and chronic jaw pain, so much that they were having trouble like eating their food because of the tension. They couldn't chew very well, and then they were getting digestive issues through that. And then taking women that have had like postpartum crepey skin and firming that up to them, feeling like they have got control of their abdominal tissue to actually contract that again. Taking people that have had cord like scar tissue from doing liposections and tummy tucks, where their tissue was taking them, like it was coming around from their backsides to their belly button in a thick cord that almost felt like telephone wire under there, and
Wow.
softening that. Taking people that have had double mastectomies and taking where their breast tissue were like raisins with all of these different variations of scar tissue all through it, but it was holding her down where she couldn't even stand upright and lift
Yeah.
her neck upright, and having it so she's up and lifted. It's just endless, endless. Taking myself that had cankles and made nice slim ankles and pretty knees, which I call like Kardashian knees, or who's the country singer? Oh,
Who is the country? I don't listen to
the country
country.
singer, the blonde that was on American Idol. That's amazing legs.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
We'll think of it.
Carrie Underwood.
Thank you.
Oh my God. I wait till you see her legs. I'm like, let me carve those things up. That have had sagging skin right down, like from their privates, like the top part of their thighs, not understanding why that's happening. I'm like, okay, because you've been hyperextending your knees, you haven't been using your inner thigh muscles to stand, or your quads, and then tightening that, firming that, getting that to be more attached to their skin so it didn't look like they had to wear long shorts forever. It's been really endless,
Are you
endless.
saying camel toe? You can help camel toe?
You can help even camel toe, or a puffiness, what's that called? That down in the pelvic range where they get the puffiness.
Camel toe? No, I'm
Uh,
not sure the term you're thinking. It's
yeah,
like the mons pubis gets kind of
yes,
swollen,
yes, yes. There's so many things. Incontinence, painful sex syndrome, uh,
right?
you know,
Yeah. all
It's
of it.
it's all fascia.
Yeah, yeah, it's so cool. Well, any last words? You know, I feel like this was really thorough, and I think anyone listening is going to really understand what fascia is, the importance of it. But yeah, any parting words?
Gosh, find me. Find me. I
Yeah,
can want your help.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I will tell you,
Definitely
like,
follow Tamara. She has so much that can be really helpful for all of
yeah,
us.
I think, the one thing that you and I both love is like how to really understand ourselves more, how to
Mhm.
understand the creation that God created.
Yeah, and it's a constant quest, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it makes me
Yeah,
cry. It's so wonderful.
it is
It
so
is a
amazing.
constant, but yeah, that we're beautiful creations, and it's really fun to start taking it more lighthearted and going through the discovery period and make it fun. Like it's an unraveling. It's not like I have to, I got to, I must. It's no, I get
Yeah.
to. What does this mean? Right?
Put the blinders on from the comparison and what you think you should do for other people and just have it be that vertical, it's you and God, and taking care of yourself is it's stewarding something that he created, it's
Yeah.
showing respect to him. So anyway, I love it. I love the mind body spiritual connection. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you for being my first guest in this new season. I think it was a really
My
great start to
pleasure.
it, a great kickoff. So just very, very grateful for you. I love you. Anything I can do to support you, please let me know. And everyone listening, definitely go and follow Tamara.
Thank you. Thank you, sister. Love you.
Love you, love you.
Bye.